All right, we are live and recording. And my computer just decided to die on me. Hello, everybody.
I know, and I have Kate shopping with her sisters trying to convince me that a pair of shoes.
Kate's hitting you up for some shoes?
Yeah.
Awesome.
But they're really cute, and she wears them all the time.
Okay. Let's go down through the list. So welcome, everybody. We're just doing some pre-tech checks here, and then we're going to get rolling. Connecting to multiple streaming destinations. Hopefully this chat's going to work this time. Spinning. If not, I do have my computer here this time, so we will use that. Actually, I think I'm going to get off of here because it might be killing our
that's a good call.
internet. We're just gonna go by faith. Go by faith.
Walk by faith.
That's right. Walk by faith, not by
Computer.
YouTube site. All right, 158. Welcome, everybody. If you are here, let us know you're here. Give us a I'm here and where you're from in the chat if you are there. It says we're connected. So we'll see if the chat is actually going to work. Next time I'll have to use my other phone so I can actually have my real phone.
And see what's going. Yeah.
Yes. I feel it's like, when
your
phone's not here, you just feel like something's missing. Like, what's going on? It's probably not a good thing.
Well, and I can't help you because my phone is not your phone.
It's all good. All right, well, we are at 158. Let's go ahead and just jump in. So we didn't really do any icebreaker questions.
I know. I was going to make the big announcement of we're using a laundry room, this campsite.
We are. So we have lots to update you on. So let's just go ahead and jump in. So welcome to everybody. Super glad you're here. I got to quit looking down here and look up here, but we are very glad you're here today. We're going to be talking about the 10 homeschool mistakes we made. So Lord willing, you don't have to. But before we dive into that, we are joining you this week from Pensacola, Florida. For those that may be new to the channel, we're a family of 5. One is now in college. That's actually why we're in Pensacola, dropping her off for her sophomore year. But we are a family that travels about, 6 months out of the year, average-ish over the last 2 years. So we work from the road, we do school from the road. And yes, we've got a lot to dive into as it relates to homeschooling mistakes, because we've kind of been the crash test dummies of homeschooling, and we are going to hopefully help you prevent from making some of those mistakes. But before we jump into that topic, so this is our first Airstream road trip. So for those new to the channel, we used to have a 45-foot diesel pusher motor coach. And
this is our first trailer.
Yes, and this is
trip.
Not only our first in the Airstream, but our first trailer in general. So
towing.
A truck and towing. We did tow a Jeep, a lot different.
It's not the same.
Yes, when you're 45 feet towing a
little
Jeep, little Jeep Wrangler,
little follow behind.
But yeah, so how do you think it went?
Yeah, I think it went pretty well. The Airstream, every time I'd come back and check on it, was not torn to smithereens, and there are a couple of drawers that like to come open, and so they were shut. The pillows were on the couch. What are the other indicators? Yeah, it just seemed like it was okay. You did all the driving this time, even though
that wasn't the plan, but there was a lot of construction.
So much construction.
A lot of construction, really tight, like where the concrete barriers are pretty much on the yellow lines.
Yeah, okay.
And then you
Let's not do
have
that.
semis passing you. And anyway, it was pretty exciting.
Yeah,
but
it was okay that you were driving.
The truck did great. The Airstream did great. But yeah,
we did great.
It was definitely a big learning curve. So we have 2 hitches that we brought with us. There's the one that's a little bit lighter, and then there's the one that's probably going to be the one we use moving forward. It's called an AirSafe hitch, and
it's
it
like
weighs
100 pounds.
It weighs about 100 pounds. So it's hefty, but it has an airbag in it, as well as it has shocks on the side. So depending on whether the force is up or down, depends on whether it uses the airbag or the shock. But it's very highly reviewed. A lot of people who use Airstreams, they recommend it. pretty much if you can lift 100 pounds, they say that's the way to go. So I'm not to the place of endorsing any hitch at this point. We also have a Rhino hitch, which we really like. It's really light. You can just sling that thing off and on so easy. But having the extra airbag, especially with some of the roads.
Oh my goodness.
So we went from Northwest Iowa down here to Florida. So we went through Missouri, Missouri is where we had the majority
So much.
of the construction. So,
And it was like hours
Yes.
of construction. So through Missouri, St. Louis, down a little bit of Tennessee,
yeah.
into Alabama, or Mississippi. Spent the night in Mississippi.
Yes, Corinth. What is the name of that? Cross City RV Park. If you are ever in that area, we highly recommend. It's no frills.
No, for us.
What's his name? Mr.
Jim.
Mr. Jim. Sweetest.
Just like a Southern gentleman.
Yes, Mississippi Southern gentleman. So if you're ever in that neck of the woods, what is the name of that?
Corinth, Mississippi.
Corinth, Mississippi. Definitely
Anyway.
give Mr. Jim a ring. So overall, it's went really well.
Also, we had an extra traveler. So we took our daughter to college, and then our daughter's friend also needed to go. So let's just say we did overnights in 30 feet with 6 sleeping people.
Or I think I said 6 grown humans.
I don't think it's really meant for that.
Yeah, it is definitely not meant for that. But for what we needed, where you're pretty much driving most of the day, you get set up, you go eat somewhere, you come back. It's basically a place to sleep. It worked.
It did work.
So we're now down to the 4 of us. So we'll see how that goes. We do have, and again, we'll do a tour eventually. But our Airstream does. It's the bunk model. They only make one version, I believe, that has a bunk model. So we have the Flying Cloud 30 FB. And it went pretty well. So, but we did get rain here last night in Pensacola, and it rained hard. It was a good Florida gusher. If you've not been in Florida or not from Florida, you get some good rain down here. Typically, it'll just pour down rain for 15 minutes, and then sun comes out, and it's beautiful outside. So, but very
Heavy
unpredictable.
rain. You could hear so well.
Yes.
We did not have our earplugs. Those are ordered now.
Yes. Yes. And Kate sleeps on the bunk, so she was up closer to the
Yeah, you're just like literally at the ceiling.
to the ceiling, so she definitely needed them. But honestly, not too bad. Not too bad. So, first 3-day travel in the Airstream, really well. Love the simplicity
Yes.
of an Airstream. So, the planning is just so much easier. You know, you don't feel like you've got to know your exact stops every stop of the way of like which loves. There's just tons more flexibility. I mean, we pulled into a random Walmart and did lunch yesterday. We also did a stop at Buc-ee's right outside of Pensacola. And
Which we did in the 45-foot as well, but you're just more uber aware of
But we only did it one time, and they had RV parking. Not all of them have
That's
RV
true.
parking. Like this one did not have
Yeah,
RV
this
parking,
one
as
did
well
not.
as we took the Airstream through because they have diesel lanes. So we actually did
That's
get diesel
true,
there.
too.
And for those that are into RVing, I was surprised. So we are members, and it's free. It's called Open Roads. It's for RVers who buy diesel or have diesel engines, and you get discounts. Like
You get
there's the
fleet
Loves.
pricing.
Yeah, you get fleet pricing basically. It's an EFS card. So you get fleet level pricing. A lot of times it could be 70 plus cents a gallon cheaper, which in the coach, when you're buying 150 gallons, that is fantastic. But it's still nice even with our truck. But anyway, it was cheaper. It was cheaper at Buc-ee's to buy diesel than it was at Love's with the discount. So I think we'll be probably adding some more Buc-ee's to our
Just
our
happened
travel
to fall
plans.
around supper.
Yes.
Plan was done.
Yes. God
Get
just
fuel.
orchestrated that perfectly. Get some diesel, get some brisket, get some banana pudding.
Oh yeah, you have banana
Oh,
pudding.
yep. So, anyway, overall, I think it was a fantastic first trip, or first travel travel days,
Mhm.
really. Yes, and the truck did amazing. So, grateful for that. It will be nice when we get home. So we are going to talk about our next travel plans here in just a second. But when we get home, we are doing some more mods to the truck. So we've done a couple already. We put some airbags on the back suspension, which is so nice. Makes the truck ride so much better. And we've done a couple other things. We did some window tint. We put protection over the windshield. What else did we do? Oh, we put the smart cap on. So if you're not familiar with smart caps, it goes over the back bed cover, but it's steel. And you can open doors on the side as well in the back, which makes getting stuff out of the back of the truck so much easier. But the next mod I'm looking forward to, which is going to really help us on our next trip, is the extended range fuel tank. So I think right now we have like 32 gallon, and we'll have 60 gallons, which means we'll have over 1,000-mile range on one tank of gas, which is going to be amazing.
I mean,
especially when you're getting 11 plus miles a gallon. There was one point yesterday we were getting like 12, towing. And in the coach, we would get like 3 to 5.
Yeah.
So that's going to be very, very nice to the bank account as well, which will be fantastic, especially with gas prices right now. All right, so upcoming travel plans. So we're right now in Pensacola. We'll be here. Next week's live stream will be from Pensacola. Then we'll be heading home. Yes?
Yeah, we are.
Because we will be here. Yes. So next week we'll be here, and then we travel home. We've got about, what, a week and a half, 2 weeks?
Yes.
And then we are off to where?
We're heading out west. Going to hit up a couple parks that we haven't been, a couple parks that we have been.
Yeah, we're mixing a little old with a little new.
Going to visit family, going to visit friends, going to get Audrey's senior pictures.
Yes, she wanted to get her senior pictures. Olivia got them done in the Tetons, and Audrey wanted to do Zion. And she did not have to twist her parents' arm to get us to go back to Zion. It's absolutely beautiful. But one of the main reasons, not only Zion, but we really love working with Anna, who's a photographer we've worked with now 2 or 3? I think it's 2.
Yep, I can. Something like that.
Anyway, amazing photographer, sweetest lady. So we can't wait to see Anna, and Anna's going to do her senior pictures there in Zion. So our route will be obviously northwest Iowa to Wind Cave National Park in South Dakota. Ironically, we've been to so many national parks, not the ones closest to our house.
We have been to the Badlands and Theodore Roosevelt.
That's good. That is true.
Those are close.
That is true.
But like Wind Caves, something was closed when we went to the Badlands. And so we were like, well, we don't want to go if that part's closed. We'll just come back and get it later.
Yes.
And then that was 2 years.
Yes. I think that was like we were doing like a Devil's Tower.
Yes.
I
so
forget.
it has been 2 years.
I forget what that was. Anyway, so Wind Cave. Then we're going to Rocky Mountain because we had to switch it. We were going to do it at the end. But Rocky Mountain, you just never know when you're going to get snow. You start talking any of those western parks, especially with elevation, snow's always a mix.
That's true.
Almost all year round practically, other than maybe July. We're going there. And then what's next on our list after?
Then we'll head over to Logan, Utah. Visit. We have family there. Then we're going to go down, Great Basin. It's like we're going to Zion, and Great Basin is like so close, and it's one of those like...
Deborah keeps trying to push it off the list.
Well, it's...
She's like, do we really? So that was actually a conversation yesterday, because I'd really love to go to the Tetons. But it's just not, she's like, well, we could not do Great Basin.
I'm just looking to make sense, and he's like, we're so close. We're literally going like within an hour of it.
Yes.
Let's just touch over there, and then it's the drive day amount, It's just nice to get to a place and just like settle in, but it'll be okay because this is a different setup. It's a different setup, and so maybe it's going to feel different. So we'll do Zion, and then on the way back we hit Grand Canyon, Black Canyon of the Gunnison.
A lot of canyons.
A lot of canyons, and then after that, I don't know, Colorado Springs. Is that
yes?
Right
Colorado Springs for a week. So this will be a short. This is part of Northwest Iowa Community College. Like Deborah said, she's enrolled in 2 different classes there. They're also the sponsor of the video today. So again, thank you for NCC for sponsoring the video, as well as, like I've said in the past, being an invaluable part and partner in our own homeschool. So we'll talk more about them here in just a little bit, but we are excited. So Audrey kicked things off this week, and then Kate joins the party next week.
We just packed all this stuff. We have to figure out a place for it anyway for traveling.
That's right.
West. So
that's right.
Might as well start when we're south.
So shakedown trips in the RV world are extremely important, and we try to make this one as real of a trip. So we packed as much stuff on as we could so we knew what our weight was. Oh, that's one of the things that we forgot. One of our first things we've ever done in two plus years of traveling as a family. We did our first cat scale.
It's exciting stuff.
I was
Yeah,
nervous. I was
exciting.
nervous. Whenever I go to like Love's, which is where we went through it, I always respect all of the truckers who are there, because like they're doing this for their work. You know, we get to do this for fun, thankfully. So we always try to stay out of their way, but it always makes me a little nervous because I'm always in a hurry just to get out of their way so they can get back on the road. But yeah, so we did that, and all the numbers came in pretty good. We have no idea what we're doing when it comes to towing.
And we're like, hey, chat, tell me what's this
Yeah,
mean?
we did. So I took a screenshot of the, because it's like all automated. You just download the app, you pull onto the scales, make sure you're lined up right, you click away, you say yes, it gives you your weights, you take a screenshot, opened up Claude. Is this good?
Yeah.
What does this mean?
Tell me what I'm looking at.
So yes, if it was not for Claude and AI, we would be in a world of hurt. So it has taught us a lot about RV life. It could be, if you're into RVing and you're not a handyman like me, it can save you a lot of RV tech time. So definitely check it out. Okay, so let's jump into the main part of it. We're going to talk about 10 homeschooling mistakes we made so you don't have to. And this is let's just be honest, this is like a condensed list.
Oh.
We made way more.
It was like 16?
Yeah.
It was so many. I was like, that was too many.
And those were just the ones that came to mind.
Yeah, like,
if we
boom,
actually
boom.
would have sat for a couple weeks, we probably had over 100. But we definitely have learned a lot in 15 years of homeschooling our daughters. So if we could go back and have somebody give us a list on day one of homeschooling, it would have saved us tons of stress, tons of guilt. Did you ever feel guilt? Yeah, me too. And second guessing. So after 15 years of homeschooling our 3 daughters, we made just about every mistake you can make, and then some. So today we're going to hand you the list so you don't have to learn the hard way. Okay, so let's get started. Top 10. Number 1, and these are not in any particular order.
Okay.
So number 1, trying to replicate traditional school at home.
We tried to do this really hard. Several times. How many rooms in our home was I like, this is our school room, and in our school room,
Our laundry room became a school room. The sunroom became a school room.
we would need desks, and
Yes.
we need posters on the wall,
And
we
the alphabet up on top.
Well, that was kind of helpful. What else did we just like? It needs to look like this, and then like you'd get into schooling, and no one ever schools in the schoolroom. It just becomes this room. Well, for us, it became this room in the house that we never went to. So then you're like, well, maybe it's. Then we try downstairs. Maybe we need to be more centrally located in the home. Turns out, all you really need to school is a table, some shelves for holding your books. Wherever your kids already are hanging out reading books, that's where they're going to read books. Wherever your kids are already hanging out doing their art and listening to audiobooks, and that's where it's going to happen. Bedrooms, cats came along with that eventually, you know, like
They can be the best classmates.
Livia read all of her books out loud to a cat. Like, read it to Rosie. So it's like just all as the girls grew up and they started needing their own independent time for like high school or online time, then they were in their bedrooms a little bit more because it had a desk. We put desks in bedrooms. But wherever the family was living, that's where we ended up schooling. So I just overthought that a lot. And can I just bring us into the next one?
Sure. Number 2.
Yes, and I would look on Instagram or Facebook, whatever it was back in that time. I'd be like, oh, look at the beautiful basket bins of the reading, and look at the, like someone had just set up this most beautiful homeschool.
So number 2 is comparison.
And I
Avoid comparison.
I was like, well, that's what it has to look like in our home. And I would go buy all little bins and baskets and beanbag chairs, and has to look like this certain thing. It didn't make anyone a better learner. And it just made me really annoyed, like, because I was always comparing. it's just never, whatever your family is doing, however your family is already working and living. Like we're in town, we go to parks. I have friends who are on hobby farms. They send their kids out onto huge trampolines and like whatever's around. They garden together. They don't even start until the end of September because they're canning everything in sight, and their kids are all a part of that, right? Like wherever you are, just do school like that and don't overthink it.
Yeah. Yeah, and comparison is just one of those things in general. I forget what book I read it in, but they talked about how comparison is just the thief of joy.
Yeah.
And whether it's your homeschool or in life in general, but definitely in homeschool, if you're constantly comparing yourself to the latest and greatest whatever, it's definitely gonna steal your joy. So, all right, number 3, accountability for each child.
Yes. Just having a check at the end of the day. I had one daughter that after my mom passed, she just stopped doing history because I stopped checking up on her. Like I just had so much going on in life, and it was one of those things that just kind of like falls off. And I think she just knew I was not.
Mom was not on her A game.
Mom is not really going to do this, and it was just maybe like a little hopeful, like. Might just go. By the time I figured it out, it was like almost the end of the year. She schooled and finished the rest of history all the way into like July.
Welcome to summer school.
It was long,
yeah.
But that was my fault. That was me not saying, okay, like we all talk about like know your goal, set your goal, but then also, what do we like to say?
Trust but verify.
There we go. Trust them. Also verify at the end of the day that they actually did what you asked them to do.
Yes, and we all need accountability. Accountability is not a negative thing. It's a very positive thing. So we need that, especially our kids as well, even through the hard times of life. So, awesome. Any other thoughts there?
No, that's it.
Okay, number 4. We were too rigid.
And I think this is what I want to talk about. This one is like the lesson plan for the day. I had a book that laid out like read some of this and then do some of this and then have your math. Like it was really nice, but I felt like I had to do every single thing. And then we were all tired of doing school, and we were even doing things that like no one liked. No one was feeling any joy from this extra poetry, whatever that they wanted us to do. And I was like, why are we trying so hard to complete this lesson plan when I could just read them the piece of poetry and we could just enjoy it together and just move on. Like if we want to include poetry, then maybe do it like this instead of like, now get out a piece of paper and now do all of these. Like no one was enjoying that. Or else finishing a math book. Why was I was like, so like we have to get through the text. We bought this text and we have to get through this text. And then one of my math friends, thank you Heidi, said to me, she's a teacher in junior high and high school and also college. She was like, no one goes through all the way through their math text. Like they're not even made for that. They're made to review in the beginning. So you're reviewing from the previous year. Then you're learning new content, maybe like half of it. And then like the next quarter, the last quarter of it is content you're probably going to hit next year anyway. They're just like throwing in extra stuff in case you really moved along. And I was like, that was such a relief because we were not finishing math tests. We were barely getting through like the middle sections, and it's okay. It is okay. Just be less rigid.
Yes. All right, number 5, thinking we had to do everything.
Yeah, this is why we joined co-op. I could not do science experiments, so messy, or art, glitter, feathers.
We had plenty of glitter. Plenty, everywhere.
Glitter glue. And I just wasn't like, it's not my forte. He's the artist. He actually went to design school. I didn't do this. And it just felt like the girls wanted to do it, but I didn't want to do it. And then we found a co-op. And there was this one mom who was awesome at art. And Olivia especially got into her class. She loved her class. They were like making things with salt. And I was like, I would never want to do that at home. But that's so pretty. Look what you did today. And her art teacher was all like, yay, like total mess all over this room. And I was like, and I'm leaving, like I don't gotta deal with this. I didn't have to do everything. And tutoring algebra, how are you going to teach your kids algebra? I didn't. I never taught any algebra. We hired it out.
Absolutely. Algebra is not my forte either. So, yes.
You don't have to do everything.
Yep. You can hire tutors. There's co-ops. There's also community colleges. I mean, right now we just talked about Audrey being enrolled in 2 classes. And there can be not only the benefit of now that's a class that you as the parent don't have to teach, but it's also a good experience for your child to have a teacher. And even in a co-op, we're going there, but in an online environment, they're learning how to interact with somebody online. And in some instances, like with NCC, now she's actually getting college credit. So she's technically getting college credit that will transfer over. So she'll be starting ahead when she actually enters college next year. So tons of benefit. So just realize you do not have to do everything yourself or yourselves. Like I know for me, I've been involved in helping certain classes or even finding video classes where we would sit down and watch it together, like we did an iPhone photography class.
That was fun.
That was a lot of fun. So anyway, just remember, just take the pressure off. I think that's probably one of the overarching just themes in general in this episode is congratulations. You have decided to homeschool your child. That's awesome. That's amazing. You should celebrate that. But understand, you can make it miserable for yourself and them, or you can make it truly a joy and something that creates memories. And the big part of that is going to be, are you putting the pressure on yourself to do everything? And are you putting too much pressure on your child? Or are you actually looking at all taking your time, taking a deep breath, looking at all the options that are out there and then choosing the best path for you? Because co-ops, that was like a season for us.
Yeah, it was only a couple years.
Yeah, we're not involved in co-ops now, but we also weren't involved in online community colleges during some of those seasons either. So
wasn't the right chapter.
Yeah, there's going to be different seasons for different things, but just understand that the time that we live in, it's amazing what's out there. I mean, I know we've talked to some people who homeschooled 40 years ago. And I mean, they were worried about truancy and a bunch of other things.
Yeah, they did not go shopping during school hours.
Yeah, they didn't go to a homeschool convention where there's like 100 different options for them to be able to educate their kids. So praise the Lord, we live in the time we do. Praise the Lord, and thank you for all those pioneer homeschoolers that really blazed the trail for us so we can have all the options that we do have today. So take a deep breath. Don't put all the pressure on yourself. There's tons of resources, tons of people out there that can help you, and you don't have to do it all yourself. So number 6, don't think you have to do everything yourself. That was number 5. Number 5, don't think you have to do it all yourself. Number 6, not having a group or peers or older women to have community with.
Yeah, I was so concerned about socializing the girls and getting the right curriculum for the girls and making sure that, I just felt all this expectation on me for my girls, almost like to prove that we could do it. That I didn't sign myself up for anything. I didn't help myself. And so we were, a couple of years in, and you had just joined a mastermind or been in a mastermind for a while. And I was like the thought just struck me like, I need one of those. I need to meet with women every
So for those
week.
that aren't familiar with what a mastermind is, it's basically a group that gets together on a weekly, or it doesn't even have to be weekly, but on a regular basis. And you're there to provide accountability and encouragement. Masterminds actually go back to like the Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah.
Anyway, I won't go into all the history of that because that's not what this is about.
You can Google that up.
We all know the importance of community and a group of people that we can go through life with to provide both convenient truth as well as sometimes the inconvenient truth to sharpen us and make us better as people. So, but super important.
Yeah. So I prayed about it. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I asked a couple of homeschooling moms, like, hey, what do you think about this? And they were all like, yes, we want in. And we couldn't even figure out a time to get together every week. And then Zoom was just coming out, I think. And I was like, well, we could try a Zoom room. And everyone was like, so I just go alone into, one of my bedroom and make sure the kids are doing something in like 1 hour, but I'm in my house. And we were all like, yes, this can happen. The girls watched TV for an hour. They did. And I felt guilty about it at first until I understood how much it helped me and how much it breathed life into me. And then it was like, okay, so the thing I'm getting to is like, don't forget about yourself.
Yes.
And being able to, you're still a learner, and you still need community. And co-op is great. Co-op is busy.
Yes.
I was teaching in co-op. You know, like I didn't want to do art, but once they learned,
that's how a co-op works,
yeah,
right? Like you're there, and during a period, somebody's teaching your child, but you're also there to teach somebody else's child.
Once they learned I did music, they were all like, "Oh, will you do our music over here?" Like, sure, I'll do music. But it's not like you were sitting around with other moms, like, "Oh, let's just spend this 3 hours with each other talking." And no, so like you actually have to set up a time when you're able to invest yourself and be invested in by other women.
Yes, super important. And that's, so many moms, they can feel lonely. Let's be honest, they can feel lonely when you're homeschooling, especially if you don't have, other women who are choosing that style of, or families who are choosing that style of education for their children. And this is a great way to deal with that. So if you have questions on how do I start one of those, feel free to ask us.
Yeah.
More than happy. I mean, I think not just in the context of homeschooling, but in the context of just the Christian life. I mean, in reality, I can say for me, it's been a massive source of encouragement and encouragement of good growth, healthy growth. So if you don't have one, would encourage you to find one or start one. And if you have questions on that, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. I think all the groups, well, with the exceptions of the ones I paid to be a part of, I started and you started, the ones that you're a part of. So don't be afraid to start it too, because not only do you need it, but sometimes just like you, I don't think you had anybody that you asked say no. And I didn't have anybody that I asked when I first started say no either, because we all know
everyone knows. They're like, I need this.
And this is obviously a topic that we're very passionate about, because I think we've talked about 20 minutes just on this. So let's move on to the next thing. Forgetting the value of reading fun books together.
Yeah, we would, when the girls were really little, it would be right before nap time would be when we would get out the library books and read them. And then when we transitioned into school setting, we started doing read alouds. And then like nap time falls off. And so sometimes just even pairing those two things together, once you don't have the one, then you stop doing the other. And I think it was just like, it became this common language of like, we would talk about Mrs. Pigglewiggle and they would remember the remedies. And I'm like, how do you guys remember so much of that? But they loved it. And this year I was like, we have stopped doing read alouds together. And Audible is so huge. Yep. I mean, Kate listens to hundreds of Audible books, which is great, but we're not doing it together. And I think that's the thing, my goal for myself this year is I have missed doing read alouds together because they were so valuable to just like knitting us together. We stopped. It wasn't necessarily educational, but it was just enjoying being together and learning about whatever we were reading. So,
and that is one of our personal goals, is we want our kids to be readers.
Yeah, readers and learners.
Yes, so lifelong learners. Okay, so next, number 8. Thinking I have to have it all figured out before I get started.
Yeah, and I think that goes back to a lot of other people's expectations on you. You know, like you're already caught up in what's the curriculum going to be, and like how are we going to do this, and what room should we school in? You know, like all these questions that you put on yourself, and then you're telling someone and they're like, well, you're not going to homeschool them through high school. Like in high school, you'll send them back to public or traditional school, right? And you're like, I don't know. Well, how are you going to do algebra? Who's going to teach that? Are you teaching? I don't know.
And they're like in kindergarten.
Algebra. Yeah, they're totally. What about the ACT? And you're like, oh my goodness, I don't know. You will figure it out when you get there.
Yep.
You do not have to have every single thing of however long homeschool chapter is going to be in your life. Had I known that we were going to be homeschooling all the way through, number one, I would not have believed it.
Truth.
But number two, I would have been just like so stressed out. And my response just started to be like, this is what we're doing this year. I don't know what we're doing next year. This is just what we've decided to do this year. And every year we reevaluate.
Yeah.
And just, you do not have to have it all figured out. And also by the time we got to high school, COVID had happened. There was like independent driving schools popping up. Mm-hmm. It was just like,
homeschooling saw some
always
massive booms,
yes.
And therefore the services and the products to help facilitate that saw a massive boom, which you would have never known. So It's
Just
yeah.
do the next thing that you know to do, and do not worry about what is way far ahead, and don't let other people's expectations press you down and like make you anxious and worried, like I'm going to ruin my kid because I don't know how we're going to do chemistry in 12 years. It's like, you don't have to worry about that today.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yep. All right, number 9, staying up to date on transcripts.
I say transcripts because that's what affected our world. You might be in a state that requires record keeping on a very month by month or year by year basis. Iowa's pretty free, pretty open on that. But by the time I started doing Olivia's transcript, she had finished her sophomore year.
So there's some catch-up work that had to be done.
And it's like you're trying to recreate, like, luckily it was only 2 years that I'm putting into a transcript. And Audrey, I didn't make the same mistake. Every year I just put it in, like at the beginning of the year, you're making the transcript of like what the year is going to look like. And then at the end of the year, you're just putting in all the grades of what came out. But just do not leave that until the end. Like if it's record keeping for elementary school, just do it consistently, whatever that means. Daily, weekly, quarterly. I'm not sure. We don't have to do that, but.
And I think this is one of those things where it's keep up with it, so you don't have to go back. But I think one of the things we learned with transcripting is I think we built it up into some massive thing. And then we had friends who had been there and done that. I mean, graduated multiple kids through homeschool.
Yes.
They were engineers and off doing all kinds of things. And she was extremely helpful in breaking it down for us. Like, oh,
yeah.
Okay. So while it is really important and you don't want to get behind because you don't have to think, like just do the brain gymnastics of going back, what did they do? Just keep up with it, but also
simple.
don't overstress about it. Just do it. And yeah, if you have questions on transcripting, let us know.
We should talk about transcripting
Yes.
later. I think that's maybe coming up later, but that's a good one.
Okay, awesome. All right, last one, and certainly not the least, probably the most important in reality, is losing sight of our why.
Yeah, you just get caught up in the everyday, and some days are hard, and some days there are multiple days strung together that are hard, and it feels like a hard week, and it just, like life, it just starts to feel a little bit like a grind or like a battle of like, oh, it's back to this. I think when you're in it, it's like it feels like you're in the weeds of a thing, and you have to get pulled out and be like, why did we begin? Like, go back to your list. All my homeschool friends that start into homeschooling, I'm like, make your list of why you decided to do this, and then keep it handy, because you're going to need to go back to that a lot and be like, why are we even doing this? Because you're tired, or because that day just was awful, or the week was awful. And also, that's why I always say, keep on the same page with your spouse, because there were lots of days where he would be like my cheerleader, like, okay, this is why we did this, and this is what's going on, and it was just a bad day, and like tomorrow's gonna be better.
And some days you just got to stop and live to fight another day. Tomorrow's a new day. It's the same way in homeschooling or in business or in any facet of life. Sometimes you just have to say, you know what, we're good. I've done everything I can today. Tomorrow's a new day. We're good to go.
So I'm gonna go and get ice cream.
That's right. Lots of ice cream.
Yeah.
No. But I mean, knowing your why, is so important, and it really is a compass on those hard days when the seas are choppy and you're just like, I don't know if I'm going to survive this day. Going back and reflecting on that is super important.
It's keeping your perspective
Yes.
of overall. And we talk a lot about keeping your why and knowing your why, because we're 15 years in.
Yes.
Yeah. And it has been something that we continually go back to.
Yeah. And it's a great way to not let your emotions be your guide. So I think that's the thing. In a hard day, your emotions, you're tired, there's all the things, and your why can be that compass to kind of knock you back on track, and not let your emotions be your guide, because that can get you in a lot of trouble. So, All right, last episode. Well, number one, we hope you enjoyed these 10 items. I'm curious what you think of those. If you are a homeschooler, what are some mistakes you made? Feel free to share them in the comments. We'd love to learn from you. This definitely, we do not desire this to be a one-way conversation, us to you. So feel free, jump in. What are some mistakes you made, and what did you learn from it? We did have some questions on the last episode. Our technology did not work for us. It looks like it is working today. So praise the Lord for that. But we did have 3 really good questions from Marissa, and we want to answer those on this episode. So question number 1 is, what is one piece of advice you would give to beginning homeschool Deborah that would have been helpful?
Yeah. Just relax. Just don't take yourself so seriously. Have fun with your kids. They're going to learn. They're going to thrive. It's going to be okay.
And I think that the funny thing is, like, it's so easy to take certain things of life, like work or homeschool or whatever, and like compartmentalize it. But the same things that you struggle with in life, you will be tempted and you will struggle with in the homeschool world, right? Like, I think we are fast-paced. We can be wired pretty tight sometimes. Well, guess what?
It just carries over.
That's going to carry into this as well. So doing the work in those other areas of your life are also going to tremendously help you as it relates to the context of home educating your children. It is definitely not going to be immune from it. So keep that in mind. All right, question number 2. Any other thoughts on that one?
No.
Okay. Question number 2, Ron, this one is for you. Thank you, Marissa. If you aren't the primary teacher in the day-to-day, which I am not, what are ways that you connect with the homeschool life that is happening in the home? And I chuckle because there are many ways. Number 1, I would kind of consider myself the principal.
Yep.
So if Deborah needs some backup, or if I just realize Deborah could use some backup, then I'm going to jump in. But honestly, that's just being a dad. That's just being a husband. So we can put it in the school sense of calling it a principal. It's my job to, as a principal, or just as a man in general and a husband and a father, it's my job to lead, provide, and protect. And homeschool's not like, that's just all part.
That.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's just kind of how that rolls. So I kind of play the principal role also when we talk about, I don't think people believe us when we say we choose to homeschool every year. But we do. We only we only make a decision 1 year at a time. So far, as we have talked and as we've talked to our girls about it, we've always decided that's the path we want to proceed with. There's been time. Yeah, anyway. So I'll just leave it at that. That is a conversation, though, that I think every family needs to have.
Yeah.
And not just are we going to homeschool, but okay, so talk to me about, like, what curriculum are you thinking for, this child, or this child, or hey, they struggled with this last year. What are we doing to provide more support for them this year, or a different curriculum based on their learning needs? So I think that those discussions at the beginning of every year are super important. And I believe the husband, yes, Deborah primarily leads, as we get into the homeschool year, she is the primary educator, but that does not fall outside of the husband's responsibility to still lead. So I think that's super important. Just to emphasize.
I find you have a good perspective that sometimes I don't see because I'm in the weeds with everyone.
Right.
And so you have a perspective, and when we talk about the next year, sometimes you'll be like, I noticed this, and I'll be like, wow, I don't even recall. Like, that just totally went right past me, and I'm so glad you brought it up so that we can try to address what's best for that kid.
Yes. I also teach some classes in different ways. So we did, like we said, an iPhone photography class. I went out and found a really good video course on Skillshare. There's like 3 or 4 of them that are really good, but I think it was Skillshare. Whereas a gentleman that put together just this incredible class, and we did it. We did it like almost like a college-ish class where you would learn and you would go do a project, and we'd come back and we'd do critiques, and it was a blast. So, and this coming semester, I'm actually, Audrey's currently planning on pursuing graphic design in school, and which is going to, include web design and a whole bunch of other things. So she and I are actually going to be doing a class together related to a specific outcome. So I asked her, like, let's not just do a class, like, let's actually have a deliverable or something that we're working towards. So she wants to build a certain kind of website to sell some things that she's really good at. I'm like, perfect. Let's do it. So I'm involved in where my skill set and my giftings can come in and, obviously benefit my family and my children, then I want to get involved in that. So, but Deborah is definitely, that's not taking credit. Deborah is definitely the main day-to-day educator. I just get thrown in for some of the fun classes because, that's basically what
that's what you sign up for.
Yeah.
I'll take that one.
Yeah, I'll sign up for that. Or if I have this harebrained idea, which is kind of what this design class, I'm like, hey, let's do some like AI design. That'd be really awesome for her to know before she goes to school.
Yeah.
But ultimately, we have this joke, and the reason I chuckled, I love this question, is was it last year or the year before?
Before.
My title, other than, a husband and father and homeschool principal, is the CDO, the Chief Disruption Officer. So I work from home, and typically I work upstairs. I have an office in the upstairs second story of our house, and they do mainly on the main story of our house in our dining room. And I'll come down between breaks, between meetings, things like that. And yeah, it can be a little disruptive. So I just start asking questions and talking, and Deborah,
he starts talking before he even sees us.
True.
It's like verbal process, like, hey,
and I am
guys!
a verbal processor, 100%.
And we're like literally in the middle of a lesson, and like all of us just stop, like, oh, Dad is here.
Yeah, so I am the Chief Disruption Officer inside of our homeschool. But honestly, it's been homeschooling has been just a highlight, I think. But ultimately, it's just how we do life. Like we are family centric. We love spending time with our kids. Well, I won't say always. There are times that I'm willing for them to leave.
We're normal.
Yes,
we're normal.
Yes, but in general, we really enjoy hanging out, having adventures together, having that card conversation, having random conversations. Like yesterday, as we're driving down to Pensacola, Kate was asking us, "What's a convertible?"
I know, it's like.
I'm like, oh my goodness, you don't know what a convertible is? Okay, well, we probably never told you that. So anyway, that's what you get from paying travel bingo.
Yeah, that's right.
That's basically where that came from.
And she's not super car savvy. Like, she's just starting to notice, right? Like, that was funny.
It was funny. Okay, last question. Good question. So since we value relationship with our kids in our homeschool, what are some ways that you have helped cultivate relationship with each daughter during the homeschool year?
The only thing I can really think of is nighttime tuck-ins, and how we've always made it a practice. This is, again, normal life becoming, it's what's in your normal life. And it's like one-on-one time with each daughter when you go tuck them in. And I remember this conversation I had with a friend who, I love how they have parented their girls. I think their girls are so sweet. And I just decided to ask her one day, like, how did you do that? What are the things that you did? And one of them was, we talk at 10 o'clock at night, because 10 o'clock at night is when the teenage mouth and brain both open up, and it all starts coming out. And if that's when they want to talk, then that's when you take the opportunity to talk. And I think I was like in my early 30s at that point, and my girls were little. And I was like, oh, okay, like that doesn't sound that bad. Now that I'm like not in my early 30s, I'm like 9:30. Oh, like I'm tucking myself into bed, and they're coming in, and like we're having discussions, and I'm like, I do not know how she did 10 o'clock. Like, how's your brain even working? But that's when they want to talk. And so that's when we have lots of one-on-one conversations, and they kind of know, like, it's a respect of like, you just wait until mom comes into your room. And I don't know if you hear about it, but I hear about it if I do not make the round into their room.
Yeah,
like,
well, they're so used to it. It's just part of their daily rhythm, as mom and dad always come at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Why weren't you here? What's going on? Which is good. I'm glad. So.
Yeah, it's kind of like a check-in. I also use it as if something happened that day that I know did bother them, but they haven't said anything about it. That's the time when I'll bring it up. I'll check in. They know, Kate's really good at this, of like, she will bring something up that happened and actually tell me what she's thinking about it. Like, it's like they know to reserve whatever deep conversation they want. That's when it will happen. And for the good and the bad.
Yes.
That's how it rolls.
And not that they can't have it during the day, because there are many conversations that happen during the day. But yeah, there is something about that.
It's like undivided attention.
Yeah, just the sweetness of that. So anyway, we hope this has been super helpful. Again, these are just our top 10. We have learned so much really about ourselves through the process of homeschooling. I think parenting in general is part of the sanctification process that we go through. to show us how much we need Jesus at the end of the day and how much our kids do. But man, it's been a massive blessing, and we hope that this was helpful for you. If it has been helpful, if you would like, subscribe, that absolutely helps us reach more people that could really benefit from this content. So if you would do that, we'd greatly appreciate that. This is 100% free content. If you feel led and you would share it, that'd be awesome. And you can do that simply by liking and subscribing. You can also visit our website, ronanddeborah.com, and join our online community. Basically, we send out an email once a week-ish with just the latest and greatest of what's going on. And again, maybe less. It's been less recently. But anyway, definitely go check that out, ronanddeborah.com. Our next episode, we are going to be talking about what no one tells you before you start homeschooling. So join for that. We're going to have a lot of fun diving into that. We hope that's super helpful. But one of the things that's been super helpful for us is Northwest Iowa Community College. And I mentioned it at the beginning of our episode today that they are the sponsor of this video and really this entire series on homeschooling. And not only are they an incredible sponsor, and they have been extremely patient with us through this process of us learning, they have been an incredible partner in our homeschooling journey. So if you're not familiar with dual credit, basically what dual credit means for your high school student is they can take one class through NCC and get high school credit as well as college credit for that course. It's really a no-brainer. So our big thanks to NCC. And here's a bit more information about them. And we look forward to seeing you in next week's episode. We'll still be here in Pensacola. But until then, enjoy learning a little bit more about NCC.
Hi there, we're Ron and Deborah Gibson. As a homeschooling family of 5, we're always looking for the best opportunities for our kids. That's why we are so excited to share how Northwest Iowa Community College has been a huge blessing for us.
Our daughter Olivia is dual enrolled at NCC, which means she's taking one course and getting both high school and college credit. It's been amazing. Homeschooling is all about flexibility and a personalized approach, and NCC truly provides that. Olivia takes online college courses, fits them seamlessly into her routine, and still has plenty of time to pursue her interests.
NCC really gets homeschoolers. They offer over 50 programs, everything from healthcare to business, technology, and even the trades. With flexible options like online classes and part-time schedules, Olivia can learn at her own pace while earning college credits.
The best part? It's affordable. Homeschooling can stretch a budget, but NCC offers affordable options, making higher education accessible. Olivia's instructors and the NCC student community have been so supportive.
Ranked the #1 online community college in the nation and #2 for career outcomes, NCC isn't just a good option, it's a proven one. Olivia is getting an education that's setting her up for success, and as parents, we couldn't be happier.
Ready to start your success story? If you're a homeschooling family looking for the next step, we highly recommend NCC. Request more information today to learn how they can help your family just like they helped ours.
Thanks for letting us share our story, and a big thank you to NCC for being such an incredible partner in our homeschooling journey.